Hi there guys, this is Farmer Bob. Welcome back to my channel guys. Great to be back with the final video for the year. I think it might be the final video for the year, but who knows. There might be another one. I just don't know if there's going to be time, but we'll see. Anyways guys, welcome back man. If this is your first time on my channel, a warm welcome. Really nice to have you, and thanks for watching, and also do consider subscribing and liking and hitting the bell and all those nice things. Thanks so much. Great man, so today's video, I've had in the past quite a few requests on how to get a smooth transition from your map border to the distant textures or the distant stuff like hills and whatever, you know, and how to create distant stuff. So I've investigated a lot of those options, and the best solution thus far, having seamless integration with your borders as well as the map ends, you know, going straight into the distant stuff, is to follow this way I'm going to show you. And it's really the best way to go about it, guys. It doesn't require too much knowledge or skill. It's just a matter of doing the work, you know, and then all should be well. Great. So what you're going to do when you start your map, do consider, if you're doing a 2x map, then my process that I'm showing here is using a 4x map as your map base, and then building your 2x map inside of that, so that you can then have the 1 kilometer border from where your map borders are. You have a 1 kilometer extra to do all your distance stuff, and I'm going to demonstrate to you now what I mean by that. I'm here on a 4x, one of my 4x blank start maps. So on my website you can download, I've got 2x, I've got 4x, I've got 16x, 3 different start maps, and I think of 2 of them as playable versions. So you can download any of those from our website and enjoy for free. Just use them, make your own map and that. And if you already have your 2x map built or your 4x map built, do not stress too much about it. I'm going to show you how to expand your 2x map into one of these 4x map. Now that on its own is a lot of work, guys. So don't take it lightly. it's a lot of work to take your 2x map and build it into a 4x map. But that is going to be later on in this video. For now, the basic is, when you start a new map, consider if you want seamless integration and distant textures, and if the stuff that's available doesn't suit your liking, that you can modify it, like I showed in my previous examples on the map making course, etc. Exporting from the main maps, exporting their distant stuff and then importing into your map. If that doesn't work for you and you can't align it, that's always the problem, is the edges doesn't always align, you know. So this way is going to be the way to do it. Anyway, so what you're going to do is find your map borders or map boundaries. In my case, they are there. It is there should be 2, I think, for each. Let me just have a look. There's one. I think that one is also here, but it's from, okay, it's there. Let me just zoom out a bit so I can see the whole lot. 3, 4, 5. Yes, there is the other one. So there's 2 per thing. So all you're going to do then now is move this borders, the 2 of them. So that's number 1 and number 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 and 5. So these ones, I'm going to bring up my attributes window. If you don't have this is just a plane. It's just a plane that's invisible, so you can import, create primitive and then plane, and then swing it on its side and make it invisible, and that's the way you get one of those. Alright, so that's just a tip there. But anyway, so you're going to grab this, open my attributes window so I can see its translation, and we want to move it to the 2048 area. That will be probably, or the 1200, sorry. I think it's going to be 1200, 1100. I'm going to have a look on the 2x map. So let's just get the correct dimensions there for the edges of your 2x map. you can then now decide where you want your map borders in any way. You can make your map much smaller if you want a square. Just make the square smaller. So you can make it like, for instance, there, or decide how big you want your map. It doesn't have to go to just a 2 times map. So you are totally in charge of the size of your map, because you're going to build your map in the center of this, and then have the extra area on the outside around for your borders. Now this this way to do it is actually the best way, because that way you don't have any borders really, and things to align and mess up your edges, you know. So that is the right way to do it. Anyway, so let us have a quick browse at what the size is for a 2 times map, just to be sure. I'll just grab my Mvani, because my Mvani map, the one I'm currently doing on the map making course, that's a 2 times map, so I can quick and easily just get the spec there. You can actually also export, just from your 2 times map, you can export a border set and import it. Quite frankly, yeah, I think I have borders on this. Let me just have a look. I can't remember. Placeholders, tiny map borders. There is a set. Great. So there you go. So what I'm going to do is grab, so you can see it's 1023 on this. So it's about 1020, 1023, 1023. Yeah, you can see. So you see it's about 102. I say 1020 is the right size, so easily just fix that up to 1020 and you will have a good set of borders for a 2 times map. So just grab that, make the one that is there, make it 1020, and then just go to number 5, which is that one, make that one 1020, just like so. And then number 2 is that one there, make this 1020, and number 6 I believe should be the other one, and you get my drift what I'm talking about. And then 3 will be one of these, that one there, so that will be 1020, and that one there 1020. Then you know for a fact that you are on the spot. Just like so. And number 4. There you go. So there's your 4 borders. All done and dusted. Nothing to worry about. And you've got it all there. Now what I normally have a look at to make this a bit more visible, you can take the first 4 cubes and just give them a texture or something just to paint them. Let's just have a look. It needs collision, that's correct. Let's just get some material editing going here. Unknown material, make it bigger. Let's just drop something on there. Data, maps, textures, terrain. I'm just going to see what's available here. Spray lime diffuse. Yeah, I suppose that will probably not really going to do it. It's because these are cubes. Yeah, you're not going to be able to do that really that way. Give it a shader. There is a terrain, something for terrain. Let's have a look, and let's just spray it with something there. Maps, textures. What's under shade? Glass. Don't want glass. Don't want grass. what that will look like, if at all it looks like anything. Oh, that's a normal. You can't put a normal in there. Can't get. No. Easiest will probably just to put a plane down there. Just get that going. Just drag a plane. Put 4 planes up for yourself. So just create primitive plane. Make the plane, scale it on the X. It's to 400. And make the plane visible. Like so. And then on the Y, just make it 50. Should be alright. Or is it on the Z now? Yeah, 50 is the thickness. You can make that anything. I'll just make it 10. Doesn't really matter. Alright, and then we just flip this. You can flip that in 90 degrees to make it visible, and then at 1020 as well, obviously. There it is. You see, now you have a visible area in your map, so that you know that you don't go over your boundaries. So you just stick it out over your edge, and then that will mark your boundaries for you while you're working. And then when you're done, you can just delete the 4 planes. So all you do now is duplicate this plane, swing them around, so you have 4 marking your borders for you. Great. And then you can work everything in and outside your border, create your distant mountains, put textures on them, plant trees, whatever your heart's desire is. You can drop trees in there now. Grab any tree. I've just got a few here. Control B, and then drop some trees on there. Just remember to use your paint, your texture paint tool, or the mesh paint tool. Paint thousands and millions of trees. The more the merrier. Make your distant textures look nice, and your distant things. Just remember to set for the distant things. Like for instance, I've pasted a few of those there now. Just going to grab one of these stage 3s. Clip distances. It's only 1000, so make it like it's a 4K map, so make it 4000 at least, so you can see it right across the map. You see, like if I now go stand here, I can still see that tree there in the distance. That right before you paste all your trees and waste all the time. Because now what I'll need to do now is I'll have to grab this tree, use the replace tool, edit, replace, and then select that one as the target, and then one of the other ones as the target, and the original one as the replace with one. And then if I replace all, it should go like that, and now I should be able to see all of those trees from the other side of the map, which is nice. Okay, so a few tips there on the distance stuff, guys, and that then is you just build your map in the block, and then once you're done, get rid of these planes that you've put in, the 4 planes, and that will be it for the way to do your distant things without having a seamless map, you know. So you can now put rivers and everything across your map all over the edge, so that you have distant stuff and no worries about having edges and things and whatever, you know. That is my take on working with distant things. Now you've got a 2x map, and you want to put that 2x map inside a 4x map, so that you can build borders and distant stuff for it. Now this is where it gets a bit more tricky, because you have 2 terrains now. You have a 4x map terrain and a 2x map terrain. So your terrain on this 4x map is 4 times the size of a 2x map. So you need to now put the 2x terrain in the center here. so that you can then utilize the 4 times map. So I'm going to show you how to do that now, and it's quite a process, guys. So back and relax, and I think what I'll do is I'm going to take my current map, Mvani Pilgrim's Rest. Let's do the Pilgrim's Rest is also a 2 times map. I've already uploaded that version, so yeah, let's use this one, and I'm going to take this one and put it into the 4 times map. So I'm going to show you the basics, just how to do it, because it is a long process. Obviously I don't want the video to be 70 hours long, you know. It'll have to be broken up into a million pieces to get there anyways. But so what we're going to do first of all is I want to explain to you how it works. So the terrains is different. There's a 4 kilometer terrain for the 4 times map, and a 2 kilometer terrain on the 2 times map, and how these terrains are made up. So if you take, for instance, take this Pilgrim's Rest map. Let me quickly just open it so I can show you what I'm talking about. You can export the terrain as an R3D and import it into, but it's not going to work, because then you sit with 2 different terrains and 2 different sets of weight files. It will be a nightmare, and your game will obviously give errors, because you're not going to know where you're going to plant on, you know, that type of stuff. Now, any terrain on the maps are made up out of the data folder. All the content in here is what makes your terrain. So all this files makes up your one terrain layer, and that is incorporated into your map i3D. So your map i3D reads all this stuff in here, and it determines what makes this terrain to look like the terrain that it is, if that makes any sense. So I'm just waiting for this map to load. I don't know why it's taking so long. It's supposed to be up already. Not responding. That's a typical thing. There we go. Alright, so this is my Pilgrim's Rest map. If you haven't played that yet, do download it. It's a phenomenal nice map to play. Very, very nice map, I must say. Anyway, so what we're going to do is, if you look at this terrain, if you go File, Export, Selection, just like that, you're going to actually have to export it with files. But I just want to show you, you can do a export of the terrain, and it will look like the following. Let's go Export with Files, File, Export, Selection with Files, and I'm going to just drop it on my desktop. I'm going to create here a new folder called New Folder. There we go. And then open the new folder, and I'll just call this terrain like that, because it's going to export an R3D with everything in it. And when I say here parent directories, I'm going to go no, so take everything in my map out and take it into that R3D. So let's just find the new folder. Where is it? It's supposed to be here on my desktop. Let me just hit F5 and see. Am I blind? It's supposed to be here somewhere. Okay. Did I not put it on my desktop? I'm sure I put it on my desktop. There it is, but it's not showing there. So there it is, guys. Now we've exported the terrain, and this is what your terrain is made up of. All the textures, all the different fruits, and also all your data stuff, all your weight files, all your layers of the density maps and the info layers, your map dem, everything. That is what makes up your terrain. Okay, so it's not as simple as just let's quickly just import it or export it and import it, you know. So it's quite a process. So I'm going to run you through the whole process. I just don't know where this folder is. Am I blind? I can't see it. It's crazy. I hit F5 a few times. No, it's not here. But it is there. It's on the desktop. Oh, that's weird. Anyway, let's just delete it. Then I know it's not going to bother me later on. Great, guys. So the first thing to do is you're going to have to open both your maps, your new map and your donor map. The donor map being your 2 times map now. So I'm going to open Pilgrim's Rest, and we're going to work with the data folder. So you're going to find your data folder, because that's basically all that we're going to do is use the data folder. I'm going to make that smaller, put that there. This is my donor map. And then let's create a new folder in a new tab. Open a new Windows. Sorry, not a new folder, a new window. And on this side, obviously my new map, the 4x map. All right, so here we go. Now, guys, the first thing that you need to run through is make the views the same, details, like so. So you're going to have to check if you have the same weight files. If you miss a texture, you're going to have to first add those textures to the new map, so that what you have in the donor map is in the old map, or in the new map as well, if you understand what I'm saying. All right, so that's your very first thing. So the only thing that you need to have the same is your weight files. Your weight files is the files that shows your different ground textures. Not foliage, just ground. The foliage you don't really worry about now. Actually, foliage is a huge problem, because you're going to have, if you have multi-fruit on the old map, like or your old map has got multi-fruit, you're going to have to add the same multi-fruit to the new map, because that is going to influence your density maps, because your density maps is the density map fruits and ground and height. Those three gives you all your fields as well as all the foliage that's on your map, like grass, like if you've planted wheat, if you've got bushes and flowers, and whatever you've got on your map foliage wise is going to be in your density map. Even the weeds and stones is in there. So that's the biggest tips there, guys. First, prepare your new map so that it compares to the old map. All right, so that is very important. Don't miss that step, because if you do miss that step, you're going to end up doing double work, because you're going to have to redo some of the weights and all that kind of stuff. That you're going to have to first get your map up to date this side, and then redo the weights if you've done it already. So get it up to date first, and then tackle the conversion. Now, all you need to do now is have a look at this PNG. You will notice that your 4x map has got a 4096 size for the weight file, and your 2x map, let's just go to animal map mud 1, will have a 2048 if I'm correct. 2048, there it is. So immediately you see the 2 is, you can't just copy this over. So what you need to do now is you open the new one, right click, open with GIMP. This is PNG. Sorry, you can actually, I think, I can't remember now if, let's just see, I think it's GIMP that pastes in the middle. We'll have a look now. Go back to, that's the new, that's the old. So let's open this one in GIMP. Let's just first check, guys. Right, so we've got both. So this one is the 2048. And this one is the 4096. So what I want to do is, on the 2048, just go hit Control and C to copy. Go to the 4096, Control and V, and it should drop it for you in the center. All right. And all you do then is File, Save, hit Save, overwrite the existing. It will be in Start Map. Just make sure it's in the 4x map. So just hit save, and it should all be honky-dory. All right, so now what I want to do is I just want to check for a set of weights that is got some stuff in it. And I think the grass will definitely have, if there is grass, there's grass 01. Let's have a look if there's grass 01 on these. Yes, there's grass 01. So if I open grass 01, open with GIMP, let's have a look. I should actually see some grass growing. Yeah, that's a much better example, guys. So let's just get grass going on the new one as well. So grass 01, right click, open with GIMP. So this is your weight files conversion. So you're going to take, that's our 4 times map, that's our 2 times map. If you look in the top, Control C, 4 times, Control V, and there it is. Beautiful. So file save, just like that, overwrite the existing save, and there you go. So if I now open this Grass 01, oh my word, look at that, it overwrote it as a XCF file. That is incorrect. Did it do this one too? Yeah, it did. So it created the wrong type of file. So all I'm going to do is open this, save as, file save as. It should be as PNG, not CFX. Hit Grass 01 here. It's in the data folder. I don't want this XCF. Where's the extension for this thing? We want it as a PNG. Did I not say save as? File, export as, guys, not save as. Why does save as not give you the option? Sorry guys, I haven't done this for quite a bit of time. So you're going to have to go export as, and then you change it to PNG, Grass 01. It is here, Grass 01. Wait, there you export, and then replace. Excellent. And then leave it as automatic format and everything as is, and just click export. Great, that's the right way, guys. So don't do the save as, use the export as. And now if I close up grass01.png, I can delete that ugly thing. It should be a bit bigger. 13 Grass 01, there it is. Okay, so it's at 688. So if I open that up now on its own, it should looks like that. Great, excellent. So no matter what the other texture was, it doesn't really matter. It will have the block in the center. You can see it. So that way you're going to convert every weight file as that. And I just want to do all 4 grasses just for the sake of the video, and just make sure Grass 02 open with GIMP. Just make sure that we have all the right things. Control C, Control V, file export as. You see, if you now do it this way, Grass 02, I can just click export and it should say replace, and I'm just going to leave it by default, export. And once that is done, we're happy. Okay, and then the same with 03. The reason why I said they don't save is because of the previous. So this is our 4 times, that's our 2 times, Control C, in there, Control V, and I'm going to go file export as PNG, export, replace, and then just leave it as is, export. Great, so there it is. Discard changes. It's just because we've done changes on this and we haven't saved the original, you know, so I just want to not bother with the original, so we just don't save anything there. GIMP there, and on this one right click, open with GIMP, and then Control C on this one and Control V on this one. Go file export as, export, replace, and then just default export. Okay, so there we've done all 4 now. Now I just want to check if we need to use the I know for the weight files you don't need to do any conversion with any Giants tools. I think they should work just as is. So just to test, let's just open this map up and see if we have any errors on Grass 01 weight or Grass weight, all the weight files. There's 4 weight files we've converted or or just fixed up. But anyway, we should now have a pattern on that grass. And by the way, guys, when you open to test, oh, that is funny. I have an error on the grass. Let's have a look what it says. Console, it's complaining. Incorrect, must be 8-bit single channel. Okay, so the format, you can't leave it automatic. I'm going to show you how to do that too. So you can't leave it on automatic. Sorry guys for the waste of time. So what you do then is go to your, when you export, we're going to just do the grass all 4 again. Grass 01. Open with GIMP. Do use GIMP guys, because I think if you use paint.net, it's going to paint in the corner, which is when you paste, and that's going to be very difficult to get it in the center. With GIMP, it pastes nicely in the center. You don't have to do any alignment. So all we need to do now then is go File, Export As, go Overwrite itself again. You say Replace, and this time around, instead of automatic, we're going to go to 8-bit gray. This one here, 8-bit gray, G-R-A-Y. Yeah, that's the correct one, I'm sure. Let's just export it that. Close it up. Do it for the other 2. And note, when I opened the i3D, I didn't save the map. Do not save your map, guys. Otherwise, you're going to have to start from scratch, doing all the weights all over again. Okay, so do not save your map until you're done with the very last of all this data folder conversions. Alright, so there you go. That's number 2. Very important, guys. Do not save your map. Export as. Just like that. 8-bit gray. Export. I haven't done this like in many moons. That's why I forgot the format of that is 8-bit gray. File, export as, just export it and replace. Format 8-bit gray. That's why it's always good to just test. Just test first, and now we can have a look at the i3D once again and see if there's any errors. Test. Do one and test. Make sure you don't have errors in your console. Now we should see grass, if all is well, and not dirt. Yeah, that looks good. And immediately you can see the terrain of my old map. It's already coming into fruition. And there you can see the edges, the rivers and the roads and everything ends there on the side. And now I can carry on and build more roads and rivers and everything, because it's going to be into the distant textures, which is nice. And I can even, if I really want to, I can really even put some more distant hills of the other textures, because this edge of the map is going to be nice and flat. So I can put something else up there as a billboard texture, like very distant stuff. Have a look at a lot of my maps has got some distant stuff that is flat, but it's like billboards standing up. Then you can put that up there in the very distant, you know, if there's a need for that. Good. Alright, so guys, that does work. And like I said, do not, now you're tempted to save, but do not save, because if you save now, you're going to mess up the whole process, you know. So do not save the map, just leave it as is, and then carry on with all the weight files. Go work through all of them. Once you get to the bottom and the very last weight is done, you can come back and do the following process. Now, the map dim, guys, probably the most important of all of these is the map dim, because the map dims are also 2 different sizes. This is your height data. The map dims are the height files of telling your map. It's a PNG file. that works with color. It's a grayscale color in the grayscale spectrum, and every dot or different texture of gray gives a different height, and that is why when you open the map dim, you'll see it will look like this. It's got different heights because it's a color scale with different heights. So that's basically how it works. I'm just going to use let's just grab paint.net for this one and have a quick browse what the map dims look like. So that's my old one. It is 1025 and this one is 2049. Alright, so what we're going to do, I'm just going to copy this, Control C, drop it in here and show you. Now that is the problem with paint.net. It doesn't paste in the center, it pastes in the corner, which is not usable. So we're not going to worry with that. That's why I use GIMP. So we're going to open with GIMP once again, and map dim, open with GIMP. And now the thing is, you're going to have to have a look at the terrain heights, because it might be that your 2049 height is set at different heights. So I just want to first have a look at that, because it could mean a potential problem. So Control C on that, Control V on this, drop it in the center, and then we're going to go the same. I was just wondering about this. There was a trick with this map dims, but let's just save it as export as and see. Export, replace. I'm going to leave this as automatic and have a look first, and I'm going to leave this open so I don't have to reopen it all again. And let's just test it quick. Like I say, once you do these things, do make a change and test. Make sure it works. Let's have a browse. So if you have different heights, you might have a big issue. Like I do have here. You can immediately see the format is wrong. So we're going to have to change the format there a bit. Alright, so let's close, not save. Right guys, the correct format to export your map dim. So once you've got your map dim pasted, you go File, Export As, go into Export, replace it, and then here you select 8-bit RGB, not gray. So you go 8-bit RGB, that's a correct format. Compression levels is at 9, leave it as is, everything else as is, just export and replace it. And you should have your new terrain height data installed or transferred into your map. So let's once again have a look, and I can't stress this more than I've already done. Do not save your map. Leave it as is until you're done with everything, guys. Don't save your map. You can open it as many times as you want, but just do not save it. And there you are. Look at that. These are height data, everything. Your map is starting to look like a map, and some of the textures is already in. Remember, I only did the grass, that's why only the grass is showing. There's a lot of other layers that still needs to be done, but now you can see, you can now come in on the outside layer and fix up all this height things that needs to be done. So you'll have to build up and level up these edges to make it look nice. Otherwise, you're not going to have that distance things, you know. You probably have it, because if you stand here on the map, I remember I've got this plane in the way, but I mean, you still have the distance stuff. No problems. There it is. You can see into infinity and beyond. So just don't save, guys. Go no and back into the data folder. All right, so that is your map dim done and dusted. So the next thing, start with your GDM files. Is your first layers, is the density, fruit, ground, and height, stones, and wheat. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 GDM files that needs to be converted as well as imported, or converted is the right word. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 this side, 6 that side. What is the difference? Density map ground foliage. There's not the ground foliage. Is it going to be a problem? Let's have a look at that. I'm going to copy this name, copy, go in here, have a look if that is in the i3D. If you see something like mine, a difference, Control F, Control V, density map ground foliage, find it. You'll see you can't find it. So if it's not in the i3D, it's not necessary to convert it. So just a tip there, guys. If you find that there's density files in the map folder that's not in your original or vice versa, you don't have to do it if it's not in the i3D. All right. So just don't bring it over. That's all right. The map will work without it. Okay, so now back into the data folder to our first one. So I'm going to show you how to do the GDM files. All your GDM files as well as your info layers. If you go down here, you've got all the info layers. And it's once again the same. You're going to have a look at all the info layers and make sure, like this map has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this map has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's a lot of info layers that you're going to have to check and verify. If it's not in your i3D, don't bring them over. It's no need. So just grab this one, farmland. I'm going to do the farmlands for you and show you, because the farmlands is very important, guys. Tip on the new map, I think I have got in my new map the whole farmland painted first. So before you do this, just do paint a farmland down for the whole map, farmland 1. Paint it on the whole map. I think I've already done that, but just be careful, or just verify on yours. So this is your new map. So I'm going to go down to farmland, select farmland 1, go into the info layer, and if it's white, it means that it has been painted. So if I now go to farmland 2, it should be pink. You see, so that is definitely, farmland 1 has definitely been painted, the whole map. If yours is not, do paint the whole map with farmland 1, just to be safe that you don't have pixels that are forgotten or misplaced or not painted, so that you don't have that error. Once again, don't save your map. Okay, so back into data. So we want to now get to the density layer. So I'm going to show you, I said one of the GDM files as well as the GRLEs work exactly on the same process. So let me do the farmlands for you and then show you one of them so you can do the whole process yourself. So there we go. Now to do this, I need to open another folder on my desktop called map stuff, and you're going to need the GRLE converter from Giant's editor. So download it from GDN website. If you open my YouTube channel, you'll find the links is in every video of mine. You will find the links. I just want to go to your channel, just open one of my videos, and then just pause that. Go here to show more, and there's all the links. So GDN is in there, giantsoftware.com. So just click on that link. It will take you to the website. If you don't have a profile, just make yourself one and log in and go to downloads, and then you'll find it under tools, I think. Yeah, GRLE converter 701 is the latest one. So grab that one and you will be happy chappy. So here we go. The way to use it is from the old map, which is Pilgrim's Rest in my case. In your case, you just grab your farmland and drop it on the convert command, not the exe, the convert command. So drop it there, and you're going to see it's going to show you this saving to info layer farmland.png. Press any key to continue, and on this side you will notice that it created a PNG file for you. All right, so that is the way to do it. And now you're going to have to do the same on this side with the GRLE. So we're going to go here, drop that on the convert command, saving, wait for it to continue, and there it is. Now you have your two PNGs. Now we're going to do exactly the same thing with that two PNGs. So right click, open with GIMP, and this side Now I've missed it. Right click, open with GIMP. Alright, and there, oh my gosh, now I've still got these open, so I can close that, discard changes, close that. Okay, and here we are. So this is the old one, 1024, and this is the new one, 4096. So we're going to take the old, Control C, drop it onto the new, Control V. Now this is going to be a little bit of a problem. I know from previous experience that if you save this farmlands, you're going to get different, it's going to be the same thing. So let's just quickly do a test once again, and I can already see it's also going to be the grayscale, the RGB. So it's going to be 8-bit RGB by the looks of it. So let's go File, Export As once again, and go into Export here. So we are on the Start Map 4, replace that, and I think it's going to be the same RGB. So it's 8-bit RGB. Just export and see. And now the way to test your farmlands, I'm going to show you how to make sure that it is correct. So you're going to have to open your map once again, the 4x1 in this case, the new map. And we want to now verify if that farmland came in properly. So we're going to have to go to the farmland edges and check. If there's different layers on the edges where the two farmlands meet, then you have a problem. So we're going to have a quick browse at that. Just going to go Window, Console. Just first have a look if there's no errors on the farmland. No, great. If there's no errors on the farmland, if it tells you there's a problem with the farmland, then you know there's a problem. And now in our case, we want to go into farmlands here at the bottom. Let's just select farmland. It doesn't really matter which one you select. I need to go out, zoom out a bit. Yep, it didn't come in. Why did it not come in? Okay, there's definitely a problem. Oh, sorry, man. I forgot. I'm crazy, guys. I haven't, like I say, I haven't done this in a while. Let's have a sip of coffee there. What you need to do, guys, because your farm, all your info layers is going to work this way. You convert it like I've done now. Then you're going to come in, once you've done all of them, you're going to come into the editor. Not in the editor, you open the i3D, the map i3D with Notepad. So go Control F, find farmland like that. And then here at the end, because we've converted it now to a PNG, we need to convert or make this one a PNG as well. Then you can save this, don't close it, just save it and leave the i3D open. Because now, from now on, until you've finished all the info layers and GDM files, you leave the i3D in the text editor open so you can change and rechange this PNG. Because once we've done all of the PNGs, here in the i3D, you save it for the last time, you open the map, and if there's no errors, you save your map finally once you've done all the info layers and GDM files, and then only you come back and you can save your map, and then you'll come back this way and change all the PNGs back to GRLEs and GDMs appropriately as they were originally. And then you can delete the PNG files from your map folder. So that is the process in a nutshell. Good. So what we've done now is we've come in here into the data folder, go to farmland, info layer farmland. You'll see now we've changed it to the PNG. So this one, I'm just going to rename it for now. So we'll keep the original. I'm just putting a 1 there so that we're using the PNG now. So the i3D is now not going to look for this anymore. It's going to find this one as the new farmland. So now we can open the map once again and check if there's any problems. If there isn't a problem, then I can delete that old backup of the GRLE file, the farmlands, info layer farmlands.grle. So if there isn't a problem, then everything is fine. If there is a problem, then yeah, we're going to have to go back and redo. So let's just have a quick browse here, see if there's any errors. Okay, there's no errors there regarding the farmlands. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so first things first, let's have a look at the farmland. So if I click on farmlands now, there it is. That looks much better. But just make sure now my farmlands is now much smaller. So I'm going to have to update that farmland size from 1024 to 2049. Why is it so small? So my size isn't right, guys. So definitely my size isn't right. So let us go in. Just want to have a look quick. Farmland 1. Yeah, you see I have farmland 1 in the new map as well. That's why it's all white here in this center, which is great. It means that it's working, but it's just the wrong size. So we need to fix that size of the farmland. Once again, don't save, but it is working. Our whole process is working. So into data again, grab that farmland, the old farmland info layer farmland 1. I can delete that now because we are using the PNG. Now back into GIMP. Now this one is 1024, the old one, and this one is 4096. So first of all, we need to convert this one to 2048 and this one to stay 4096. So it must be half of that. So image, canvas size, it is scale image. There we go. So we want it 2048. Click on this little chain thing, and then interpolation. That is very important, guys. This needs to be, if I'm correct, it needs to be linear. So let's just have a quick look. Scale, and this is what I was talking about with the layer thing. I just want to see where my zoom is on this thing. I want to zoom in. Oh, here we go. So zoom in, control. Now you see now there's different layers, so even that is incorrect. You need to have a crisp line. If you don't have a crisp line on the edges, then you're going to have a problem. So I'm just going to go Control Z just to undo. It's still 1024, and I'm just going to zoom in once again just to have a look. You see you need a crisp line. All right, so we need to enlarge this. This is the problem with farmlands. If you enlarge farmlands, you need to get the right thing to enlarge the farmland, to not have the different lines, because otherwise it's going to mess up your farmlands. All right, so image, resize or scale, we want it double. That's correct. Pixels. Okay. 72. What did I do with these? I think I upped them. What is happening here now? I think I upped them a bit. Make them 150 by 150 like that, and then let's just put no interpolation and then just see what it looks like. So now we've doubled them. Yeah, there you go, but it's still, I still have a problem with that. It's possible. Why is it two different lines here? Doesn't really matter, but the main thing is you don't have that anymore. Okay, so no interpolation is the right setting, and scale it up to 2048. All right, and then save. Okay, so now we're gonna first grab this. This is on the old one, so copy that, drop this one in the new one. This one I want to just undo first. Control Z, because we've pasted that. I want a perfect black, and then Control V, the new one in there. And now you're going to see, go File, Export as, exported over the same one, and it 8-bit RGB export. Great stuff. Keep it open to test so we don't have to redo everything. Let's just have a look. Now, because the map i3D is still looking at that PNG file, it should update with all the changes, but we're not going to save. We just want to verify and test. Right. And now info layers, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And now I can just come closer with that. Just want to have a look here. I think it has been under the toll road. Yes, you see what you want is, you don't want a if you have that funny different lines, you'll have different farmlands going in here. At the moment it's perfect. That's the way you want it. Farmlands is looking great. And now obviously that is all done. Don't save the map. We just know that we finished with that one layer, the farmland GLE. And I'll do another one just to show you guys. So let's do the density fruit. The fruit and the ground and the height, they all go together. So fruits on this side, density fruit. And we're going to do the density fruits. Pick this thing up. So we have our converter, our GLE converter. So drop the density fruit on there. Press space, and on this side, now it's not going to work so nice, so I'm going to put it there. So I'm going to grab the density fruit and drop it in there. Saving density fruit. Continue. Alright, and the same drill with this one. I'm going to, for the GDM, just going to rename it for now to 1. I do the rename, guys, so that if there is for some reason I forget, I will get an error, you know. So at the moment the i3D is still looking at the GDM, but we need to change the i3D to look at that. But before we do that, let us just open both the fruits. Open with GIMP, and on this side I missed it again. Density fruit PNG, open with GIMP. And here you will now see we still have the old ones in here. I can close this up, discard, close. This is farmland. I can close that, discard. Alright, so here we go. The same drill here, guys. This is 8192 and this one is 4096. So what we're going to do is just copy this, Control C, and go on this side, Control and V, and it will drop it in the center. And then we're going to go File, Export As, and export it over itself. Go Replace, and this time it is definitely not going to be RGB. I think it is still RGB. Yes, it's still RGB, so 8-bit RGB. Go Export and leave it as is, and let's test. And like I said, when you do this fruit now, if your two maps doesn't have the same multi-fruit, you're going to have a problem. Like I will definitely have a problem because my two maps is not going to have the same multi-fruit. And you need to first change the two maps so that the new map has exactly the same fruit as the old map. Alright, so that's something that definitely you can't incorporate this if you have different fruits. Okay, and then I'm going to also show you then, now that it's in there, we want to go back here, go into the i3D. We've got the i3D. It's going to ask you, is the farmland, and now we are going to go and look for density map underscore fruit, I think, is it? Yes, there we go. And the GDM we changed to PNG, and like I said, now the map will look at the PNG file and not the GDM anymore. So we're going to go back into the folder, go into the i3D, open that up, and we should already see some fruit hanging around. Though be it, there might be corn growing where grass is, because the two maps fruits are different. But we should see some fruit on the ground growing, or in the fields. There it is. So you have some stuff growing here in the field, which is good. So I've got fruits on the ground. You can immediately see it doesn't look too shabby. This is definitely tobacco or something. I must say, it doesn't look bad. Really doesn't look bad. Okay, good. So that is your fruit. So once you see that, you know your fruits is working. Close, don't save. And now you can go through the rest of them one by one. Come into the i3D, change the PNG file. So there's fruits, there's ground, there's height, there's stones, there's wheat. So there's 5 of them there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And there is 5 in the new map. So you know it's going to be roughly the same. You know, it's going to be fine. But only do that if you finished, first of all, copy the fruit or create the same fruit as in the old map, in the new map. Then you do these conversions. Then all will be well, guys. You shouldn't have a problem. Now I'm going to show you what to do when you've done all the weight files and you've brought all the info layers over, as well as the density map files, these ones, from the 2 maps into one. So I can close these in GIMP now. We're done with them. Discard changes. So we know that format was 8-bit RGB, where the weight files was 8-bit gray, GRAY. So there's a difference between the formats. Good. So now, guys, so once you've done all of that, now you can open your map finally. Just reopen it, and then once the map is open and you've checked for errors and you notice that everything is well, you finish off the whole process by just waiting for it to open. We're almost there. Okay, there you are. So now, once you've done all of that and you know the whole map is done, you go File, or you can just save your map like so. Just make sure there's no errors before you do that final check for the last check on the save. Now I can close it, and then once that is done, now lastly you have to open your i3D once again. It will ask you to reload. You say yes, and now all the files that you've changed, like I've done the density map fruits, I've changed it. So all the ones that you've changed, you have to change back to the correct extension. So all the density maps are GDMs, the info layers are GRLEs, and the map dem is a PNG. So that is the format for it. So all you do then is go back to GDM of all of them, because if you now look at your map folder, this is the start map. If you go into your data folder, you will notice that those ones that you have changed now have new GDMs made. So there's a new GDM made, there's the PNG for it, the old one, and there's the backup. So I can now delete both of those, because we are now back onto the original that it should be, because the map has now created a new one for us. Okay, so that is the whole process, guys. So once you've done all of these on the data folder, you will have brought your whole terrain over into the new map, and then, and only then, you can now start editing your map borders and boundaries. So that is how you convert a 2x map into a 4x map, keeping the size, and then obviously have more space around it, either to build or to create a very nice border space with distant hills and whatever. So now you can see I've got this very nice map here in the center, and I've got a lot of space on the edges to create mountains and valleys and rivers and roads and whatever, and it's going to be a seamless integration, because I can now come in with my text, with my map tools, and I can actually build these terrains up and make them look the same. you know, and do this until I've got one thing, you know. I'm just going to get a bit in here, like so, create, and then smooth them out and maybe make a whole mountain of this or whatever, you know, whatever tickles your fancy. So you can now come and do your own thing and have a seamless map border running into the distant without thing. And remember to put your map borders so that people can't go over that or cross the border. So you'll do those 4 or 8 borders, and then once you're done with everything, you can delete these planes out of the way so that only your borders are there and visible. If you look at the map boundaries, there they are, all nice and neat, so they'll keep your guys from crossing over into your distant boundaries. And that is the way to do it, guys. All done and dusted. I hope there's not anything that I forgot. Yeah, that's how you get the terrain over in any way. And now obviously you will export and import all your buildings, all your placeables. The XMLs you can just copy over, but the stuff in the i3D here you can just export, like for instance in gameplay, in trees, or in the map itself. I think this one is under oh, this is the start map because it's empty. So in the other map you will bring over everything in, import them into place. It's going to be a matter of export import, and eventually you'll end up with everything in the new map and you will be a happy chappy. And that's all done and dusted. Great, guys. I hope it's been insightful and awesome. I really enjoyed it. If there's any other questions or whatever, do have a look at all my videos. I have more than 500 videos on map making. Do search through my channel and find answers in there. Before you jump on the question bandwagon, just have a look at what's available, watch the videos, and if you can't come right, yeah, sure, just ask questions, guys. It does help. But I mean, these videos almost for any topic that you can wonder about. I mean, like I say, I've got over 500 of them, covering multiple times, because in FS19 I've covered like a whole map making course, and then in FS22 I've done now a new map making course for FS22, which we've tackled basically almost everything, you know. So yeah, first have a look at the channel, and then yeah, I hope it helps. Great, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, awesome new year. If I don't speak to you guys again, may you be blessed and prosperous in the new year, and we'll catch up next time. Take care. Cheers.